Hello lovely heads, welcome home. My name is Starlight, aka Hippie Gamer Chick, and I'm obsessed with spirituality and gaming. Today's video was going to be about gaming, but given the current circumstances I decided to make this video about coping with lockdown. So if you're into this sort of thing, please hit that subscribe button down below, click the bell to turn on notifications, and you can also follow me on Instagram. I'll pop my handle right here. So lockdown. We are currently in a lockdown 6.0 in Melbourne, Australia. Technically 7 because it was meant to be finished, or it was meant to be finishing tomorrow, and it's been extended a week. And I tell you what, it's been really difficult. Now, I'll just give you a little backstory about the crazy year and a half it has been. I can't believe it's already been a year and a half. Yeah, it's been around that. I'm trying to work it out now. Maths. But anyway, when this was all first announced and this pandemic was made public and everyone was panicking, my first go-to was, oh my gosh, the world is ending. I just want to drink and enjoy the time while I have it. I didn't really think the world was ending, but I was definitely afraid. There was a lot of fear. I remember the shops being insane, and this was right after all of the bushfires in Australia. There was just so much going on at the time, so it felt like the apocalypse. It was really scary. I remember going to the shops and people freaking out about toilet paper and freaking out, just about everything. The shelves were emptied, so it was really scary. Really crazy to witness panic buying. And I remember having to take a step back, and once the adrenaline wore off, I realized that I still needed so much self-care. I needed to drink less alcohol, I needed to work on myself. I lost a lot of hours with my job, and my job you don't usually lose hours in. I work in disability, but a lot of my clients were really afraid as well, so it was a really full-on time. But I'm just going to give you some pointers about different ways that I cope with it now. I'm still struggling. Like, I've read about this comparison and I really feel as though it's really relatable. It's kind of like being in an abusive relationship, you know, the control, the feeling isolated, not being able to go out and do the things you want to do, and then having little bits of freedom here and there where you feel kind of some normalcy. You get to see people and then that gets taken away again. It's very traumatizing, and especially over here we've just had so many lockdowns, and when we were at stage 4 lockdowns we only have 5 reasons to leave the home. I think it's to get vaccinated, to go to the shops, caregiving, for work, and exercise. I'm pretty sure those are the 5 things, and it can be extremely difficult. There's so many kind of loopholes and misconceptions in what you can and can't do. I feel for people who live completely alone, who don't have family and friends that they can reach out to easily. Different things that have helped me and are still helping me, I just have to keep practicing them. This is a good reminder for me as well. So the first one is try to keep busy, try to keep a routine. So I know that might be the last thing you want to do when the world around you is feeling chaotic and you're feeling isolated, but it's really important, whether it's setting an alarm and trying to get up at the same time every day, trying to get to bed semi-early. I know if you're not working or if you're working from home, you can get slack on these sort of things and lose that kind of drive to do those things and keep that routine, but it definitely helps not only your mental health but just your physical well-being, having some sort of routine. So I downloaded an app called Fabulous recently, and it's all about building popular habits. Hashtag not sponsored, I wish this was, but it is an app that you do eventually pay for, but I'm doing a free trial at the moment, so I'll let you know how it goes. But for now it seems really cool. Like, it builds habits slowly. You can cater it to the things that suit you the most, so that's been really helpful. It'll give you little reminders, like whether it's drink more water, do some exercise, reach out to a friend, etc. It's just when you're feeling alone and isolated and you're getting stuck in social media or watching all of Netflix, which I feel like I've done, it's nice to be reminded and have something like that to do. I also am a huge advocate for meditation. It honestly really helps. As someone who suffers from pretty severe anxiety, I've suffered from panic attacks and anxiety attacks for a long time, meditation is key. So even if it's just 5 minutes a day until you can build it up to more. At the moment I've been trying to just practice 10 minutes a day, so you just sit with your breath and listen to things around you and just observe them. Sometimes it'll be difficult, you know, negative thoughts will come up at the point point is to just observe them and not let them overtake your mind and not react to them. Practice does make perfect. I used to, if a weird thought would come up or a negative thought, I would panic, and that's the worst thing to do because it's almost like you're bringing that into your aura more by avoiding it. So I just, sit there, I listen to the sounds around me, whether it's my dog scratching himself or the wind outside or the birds or the traffic. Every little sound, I'll observe it. I'll try and do body scans, so I'll go over each body part, like my feet, my ankles, my knees, my legs. I'll go right up all the way to the top, and I'll imagine just scanning them, noticing them. I'll also kind of tense it all and then release it all. Just things like that bring you back to your center and can really help during times like this. So I highly recommend doing that, especially if you're fast paced, if you have kids at home, if you're really struggling, just try and take those 10 minutes aside, 5 minutes, just to have your alone time and be with yourself. The next thing, which is something I struggle with, is get a good night's sleep. So I am a night owl. Sometimes I get insomnia and I struggle to fall asleep at night. So things that have helped me are meditation apps or just Googling YouTube. Jason Stevenson, shout out. Not sponsored again, but he's awesome. I will listen to him a lot as I fall asleep. He just talks you through these different stories or meditations, and I never stay awake. I always fall asleep before they finish. So they're really, really helpful as well. I also recommend trying to get to bed at the same time every night. If you need assistance like melatonin at first or some sort of supplement, then that's totally fine. At the moment I'm taking a magnesium supplement. I think it's mixed with chamomile and something else. Go grab it, but then the kitty cat's going to try and sneak in. So I will leave it linked below, but basically it works differently to melatonin. It's meant to keep you asleep rather than putting you to sleep, so that is really helpful. Keep up with your vitamins, because during lockdown, especially the first one, I noticed I was eating really bad because we were just buying out a lot. We didn't want to go to the shops because it was so chaotic, and also things were just selling out like crazy. So eating healthy is really important as well. I have an app called MyFitnessPal, and I use it basically to keep track of my macros to make sure I'm getting enough protein, fat and carbs, because I'm a massive carb head. I love potatoes, I love them, and pasta and all the naughty things. So it's good to keep a track and try and lower your consumption of those. And well, for me anyway, not for everyone. I know there's a lot of high carb people out there as well. I think whatever you do, just as long as you're trying to keep it balanced, is great. Practice self-care, whether that's having a bath or getting up and still getting ready even if you're not going anywhere. It's raining outside, I'm sorry if you can hear that at the moment, but if you get up in the morning and you just have a shower and do your makeup, or if you're a guy, do whatever, or you don't have to do makeup at all, but just that self-care routine makes you feel better rather than just sitting in your jammies all day. I'm so guilty of it, but I find that it definitely helps. YouTube and streaming has helped me with that, because obviously I'll get ready to stream and film a video. Wow, it's really pouring rain out there now. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but perfect day to be inside and nice and warm. So yeah, just practice little things that are looking after yourself, even if it's something as simple as clipping your nails or giving yourself foot massage, which feels really weird at first, but they're so relaxing once you get used to it. You just do it for a couple of minutes and there's so many nerve endings in your feet, it just feels amazing. Also, reaching out, speaking with friends and family, checking on friends and family. I've lost a few people during this time. It's been really difficult, so I highly recommend reaching out to people that you care about. And also, it's important to at least socialize with 2 people a week, and obviously that's difficult when you're in lockdown, but if you can exercise with your friend, you can go for a walk together, you can go get a takeaway coffee and just catch up and see somebody outside of sitting indoors and being really isolated. And if you don't have people that you can speak to, reach out to a psychologist or a counselor. There's so many resources online. I've linked them in my videos before, and I'll pop a video up here about how to cope with anxiety as well, because I have resources in that video. But it's important just to know that you're not alone and that so many people are going through this. We're all suffering, we're all having good and bad days. It's horrible when you feel free again and you feel like you can enjoy life, and then it comes back and you're just stuck inside again. It's really, really traumatizing and really plays a huge toll on your emotional well-being. So just reach out to friends. I think it's really important to have a break from social media. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the last year I have seen so much fighting and arguing on my social media with people with with different opinions, and I find it really sad because I think in a time like this we should be lifting each other up and supporting each other. I think it's totally fine to have different opinions. That's okay. I don't think we should be attacking each other for having different opinions, like pro-vaccination, anti-vaccination. So many arguments on that. I see people arguing about lockdowns and arguing about the government and Premier and Prime Minister in Australia and all through the world. Like, there's just so much arguing. I think if we just take a step back and, you know, observe, if someone says something that you don't agree with, I just kind of scroll past. I don't feel the need to constantly comment and argue with people. In fact, I've tried to avoid looking at my feed lately because the fights that I'm seeing is really sad, especially from people that I know have been friends for so long. To see them arguing on social media is horrible, and then deleting and blocking each other. It's just not what this should be about. We should be supporting each other, and everyone's going to have different opinions. It's like people having different opinions about religion or politics or, you know, their own belief systems and morals. It doesn't mean that they are wrong or you're wrong and they're right. It's your own opinion, and that's what makes it beautiful, and we shouldn't be tearing each other down for that. We think it's healthy to have mature discussions where you're not attacking each other, you're listening to each other's point of view and then just expressing your own, but not bringing each other down. Some of the comments and fights I've seen are just disgusting, and I don't think it's who we truly are. It's a really sad time to, when people are already suffering and people are already feeling isolated, to be isolating each other more. We should be in this together. So I have breaks from social media because I find it can be really toxic, just getting caught up in other people's stuff when you should be focusing on your own mental health. Also, don't get your hopes up too often. I've learned not to be like, oh, it's gonna be fine, we're going back to normal too soon, because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So that's why living in the moment, coming back to your breath, living in this moment is so important. Every time I tend to get too comfortable, it's when the world sort of turns to chaos again. I can hear my cat at the door, but he's not coming in because he's being cheeky and he's gonna crawl all over. You guys have seen him if you're one of my subscribers already. I also am huge for getting outside, whether it's like only 5 minutes, just getting some fresh air. Staying cooped up in your house is no good for you, so just going for a little walk. Right now it's pouring rain, so I don't want to go for a walk. But as soon as it clears up, I'll try and take my papa for a walk, and I'll just rug the hell up. Like, I live really close to the beach, so I'll just wear like all my snow gear to go down the beach. But yeah, just keep warm. I guess it depends where you are in the world. In Australia, in Melbourne, it's really cold. It's winter at the moment, so it's good when we have a nice day randomly. Exercise is super important. I've been doing a lot of at-home exercise. That's what's really frustrating, is like just before this lockdown number 6 came, I had just joined another gym. I was really excited. I was back into my kickboxing and back into my pole fitness and all that stuff, and then bam, another lockdown. So that all goes out the window, and it feels really disheartening, and you just feel like you want to give up and you can't be bothered. And it would be easier just to eat all the crap and drink and be merry, but it doesn't help you. It harms you. It masks the issues. So I find I definitely need to remind myself of this more often, but exercising and eating well and drinking less alcohol is so important. For me, I love a wine to like wind down and relax, or I don't mind, you know, have a couple of beers on the weekend and things like that. It's just not good for you though. It's not good when it's becoming a habit or you're having it too often. It's not good when you're using it to mask dealing with reality. Create is so important. So starting a hobby is huge. I know I've seen so many people do things that I never knew that they could do during this pandemic, like paint and draw. There's so many different types of things. Like, I enjoy making dream catchers and sewing, and I enjoy creating. I enjoy writing my things down, journaling. Gratitude journaling is so important, even if it's only a couple things you can think of that day that you were grateful for. Writing them down really helps with just reminding yourself of them. I'm going to put a list of all of my mental health apps down below just to give you guys reference, because a lot of them are really helpful. So also educating yourself, doing a course, like an online course. At the moment I am learning Italian on Duolingo, which has been really cool. It's just something, you know, a routine to do every day. And I recently watched a video which I found really important, but I felt for me, especially with my anxiety, I get overwhelmed and not working as much and just feeling depressed and isolated. I feel overwhelmed by small tasks, but something I saw recently, and I really agree with it, is even if it's one little thing that you get done, it's an accomplishment. Or if you can't do the entire thing, so say if you can't clean the whole house, clean one room, you know, do your bedroom or do the lounge, or just declutter some things. Just little things like that really help declutter the mind as well, and still small accomplishments. you know, little wins. It doesn't have to be cleaning the entire house, and like I know when I'm overwhelmed it's hard for me to do those things, so small baby steps is huge as well. Start streaming. Streaming is awesome and you can do so many different things streaming. That's what I started last year. I have been struggling this year because my streaming setup has been playing up, but I want to get back into it. But I've noticed so many people streaming games now. You can stream anything you want though. You can stream just chatting to people, giving advice, singing, playing an instrument, anything. It doesn't have, you don't even have to have a specific talent or gift. I'm hoping I'm still in focus. My camera went flat, so I had to plug in my other battery. I'm so sorry. But what I was saying is, I hope I'm still in the same position too. I'm so like OCD about where I'm sitting. Ooh. Anyway, so yeah, it's a good time to get into streaming, whether it's advice or just anything at all. I think it's really helpful, and just work on yourself. I've got a little whiteboard at the end of my bed where I write on my goals or things that I really want to come into fruition. I'll write some things on there, and I think that's really helpful to just read that every day. I made myself a vision board. I find that really inspiring. The last time I made a vision board, it was amazing, and I accomplished pretty much all of the things on it. So I made myself another one. You just print out pictures of things that inspire you or that you want to be in your reality, and I wrote in my own words the things that I want to manifest as well. So things like that, just practicing that self-care, still practicing completing your goals one little step at a time, and I'm here with you every step of the way. I know it feels really lonely at the moment, but you've got this. You've survived every day up until this point, and remember, if you can be anything, please be kind to each other. It's all we have. Peace, love, and vibe on. My rose quartz. Mwah.